Okay, so um, I don't really know where to start. I guess I decided to do this video for a couple of reasons. Name an incident um, that happened yesterday, which kind of put me over the edge of this whole racism situation, which um, that I live every single day. So um, yesterday, Ross, you guys released a statement about where you guys stand as far as not being okay with the George Floyd situation, and um, you guys are donating money to the Boys and Girls Club and NAACP and United Negro College Fund, all that kind of stuff, which is great, which is fantastic. I mean, it's what a lot of companies are doing when um, they want to show their support. They find the biggest, whatever they can donate to, and it makes a statement, which is awesome. You guys also say that um, you promote diversity, and obviously we hire people of every color, race, creed, um, whatever, as associates. Um, but here's the thing: that statement that you guys release obviously started some conversations with district managers and their team of store managers. Um, Yesterday there was a conference call, and we were read this letter, given this information, and um, instructed to do the moment of silence for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, um, in honor of George Floyd and what happened to him. Um, but I can tell you that didn't happen in a lot of stores. And I can tell you more than likely that didn't happen in our district. And the reason I'm saying that is because um, I knew personally myself that we had some um, racist members on our team, but it just became more real with yesterday's call. You know, afterwards, our district manager asked us if there was anything that needed to be said. And now, mind you, I am the only Black store manager in his district that he's running right now. So um, it kind of felt like I had to um, make a statement, and I've been avoiding kind of making any personal statements about how I feel about this whole situation, especially at work. I'm at work, so I just run the store and conduct business as usual, and um, it hasn't really been a conversation, but now it's in my face. So unfortunately, now I have to um, take a stand, and I have to make a statement because it's eating me up inside. After I made my statement of simply just saying that there's no way that I would ask anyone to understand what it is to be Black, what it is to have to deal with the situations that we deal with. I would never ask anybody to try to understand that, because you can't. The only way to understand being Black is you have to be Black. It doesn't matter how many Black people it doesn't matter if your uncle's mom's cousin's boyfriend is Black. None of that matters unless you're Black. That's the only way that you can understand what it is to be Black. And so I just simply ask that we be respectful um, in dealing with, especially this situation now, versus trying to make comments and understand. Well, unfortunately, some of the people on my team took this as an opportunity to make this about them, and um, and also show that not only their ignorance, but show that clearly they have a personal stand in this situation, and it's definitely on the opposite side of where I stand. So one of the comments that was made was, you know, hey, I grew up in South Dakota and I didn't see any colored people until I was 12. Well, that's a red flag for me. The fact that, however old you are and you're running a store, and the fact that you can't say black, and that you use the word colored to still describe black people is an issue for me. And this is supposed to be a person that on my team that I have to trust or go to when, we need help, or, expect for her to, be diverse in when she's hiring associates for her store, which, you know, it, it throws up a big red flag. And then the fact that we have other team members, proudly stating that they've never used the N word, which um, you should never do anyway. So, the fact that you have um, to promote that you've never ever said that, and a couple black people, and you've played basketball with a couple black people, that's supposed to give you a pass, and it doesn't. This is not a time for you to stand up and be like, I know some black people, so so it's okay. It doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it better. um the reason I'm doing this today is because it's hard enough for me as it is to um to work at Ross and say that we practice diversity and we accept everyone, when in all actuality we don't accept everyone. It's I work I live in a neighborhood where there's little to no black people, and I work at a store where little to no black people shop at, and I deal with racism every single day with the customers that walk in. And I get the funny looks because it's a black man running a store in a white neighborhood. It's even more rough when I have to deal with the fact that the people on my team don't respect the fact that I'm black. And, people will probably attempt to argue me down, but I see it every day. I deal with it every single day. And it sucks. It sucks that I have to wake up, eat breakfast, shower, shave, get dressed for work. And along with doing that, I have to make sure that I put on my white voice for the day, because black people talk too aggressively. And, especially black men and a black man of my size, my voice is too aggressive. So I have to put on this show every day that I go to work, and I can't be myself. And it's mentally draining to have to do that all day long, every single day. It sucks that, you know, I'm running a store that I do my best to showcase what my team does, and get them the recognition that I feel like they deserve. But a lot of times we get overlooked, and it's because of me and my race. It's because, well, it's the black guy's store, so the only time we hear anything, it's when it's negative. We don't hear anything positive. I know we're asked to show pictures of, hey, this is what we're doing in our store, and this is going on, and we're doing this and we're doing that. And when we showcase pictures of our store, or when we put out there that we're doing this, or we're making changes or whatever, a lot of the times we get ignored. And at first I kind of let it go, because I felt like, well, maybe there's just a lot going on and they can't respond to everything or whatever. But then I see, you know, someone not black post, and not only do they get comments from um, the district manager, but then they get comments from the other team, and there's so much high-fiving and woo-hooing going on. And then when I say something or send an email or a picture or something like that, and it's silence, um, it just shows me, the continued, undercover racism that we don't speak about because, we're at work, or because, it's just, it's not racism, Mario. It's not that. It's, this store is just, whatever. But I know different, you know, I see it. I'm in the mix of it every day, all the way to the point of the fact that, did we reach out to the actual Black people that work for the stores and just maybe touch base with them on a personal level? I don't think we did. I know we didn't, because no one reached out to me. And the fact that I'm the only Black person on this team, uh, in this district, as a store manager, and no one bothered to, after the conversation, say, hey, I know this is a touchy subject, but how do you feel? Did you feel it went across okay? Do you feel like anything was over the line? Do you feel like any of that? No, that didn't happen. What happened was they reached out to someone who wasn't Black to ask them, hey, do you think everything went okay? This is the reason why a lot of Black people are mad, because you're avoiding us. You're avoiding talking to us. Hey, I'm here. I'm running your store. I yes sir you. I know sir you. I'm answering these emails, and I'm dancing around, and I live in this store, and I run this store, and no one recognizes me. No one is paying attention. No one is, I'm being completely avoided, especially in the situation like this, where, the first person you should reach out to is the Black person that's on your team, and just, especially store manager wise, and just be like, hey man, are you okay? Are you okay personally? Like, has this impacted you? Like, how do you feel? Yeah, we're sending out, brochures, and yeah, tell associates to call this hotline if they feel, whatever. But, you know, what happened to just reaching out to that guy that is on your team that's Black, and just saying, hey man, uh I don't really want to dig into it, but I just want to make sure that, you felt like this thing went okay. Because if that had happened, he would have found out that I wasn't okay. He would have found out that, you know, the comments that were made during that conference call angered me. He would have found out a lot of things. Right now I'm dealing with the situation where I have, not only am I ignored, in this situation, but I've sent an email to HR expressing my concerns about some things going on in my store that are just bothering me, extremely bothering me. And I needed some help in dealing with that situation. And I can tell you, it's been exactly 7 days since I sent that email, and not once has HR called or reached out and said, "Hey, we're working on it. Give some time," or any of that. I was swept under the rug. My comments in my email don't exist, and it's painful to. You don't want to think that it's has to do with racism, but when you start adding things up and your total always comes out the same way, then you start to kind of think, well, maybe that is the case. Because I know for a fact that any other associate making a call like that is going to get handled immediately. But it just feels like I get categorized as the angry Black guy when I do stuff like what I'm doing right now with making this video, or sending an email out to express my concerns, or just telling somebody how I feel. And right now I'm not okay. Right now I'm not okay because I work around people who don't like me, you know, strictly because of my skin color. You know, it's hard enough as it is to have to come in and do double the work of the person next to you, or a manager of another store, because you want to step above stereotypes. You want to step above what everybody says black people are, so that you can show them that you're not this person, because we know that you don't look at us individually. You judge us based on, you know, every other black person you see, or what you saw in a movie, or what you saw in a rap video, and that's what we are to you. And so you judge everyone based on that. So we spend our lives day in and day out trying to go above and beyond to paint this different picture of us, and it's not fair. You know, when the person next to us, they don't have to do all that extra shucking and jiving and dancing around and smiling extra hard and putting on this voice and putting on a show daily so that people treat you the same. You know, not everyone has to do that. Black people have to do that, and I am tired of doing that. I am tired of putting on my white voice when I talk um, to someone higher than me that's not black. I am tired of not being recognized for the work that I do. And it's the same work that the person next to me is doing, and I get ignored. I'm tired of people pretending like I don't exist, because I do exist, and I am real, and I am out here, and I live this life every day. You know, it's scary to get pulled over by the police, and my first instinct is to call home, you know, to call home and get my wife on the phone so that she can hear what's going on during this traffic stop, because I don't know how it's going to go. You know, it's very hard to live in a neighborhood that you want to do something better for your children and you want to provide something better, but everyone's first thing is, you know, he sold drugs to get here, or, you know, is he someone famous? Like, why does he live in this neighborhood? It can't be because I worked hard and did what I needed to do in order to buy this house. It's, you know, something else. You know, does he play football? Does he play basketball? And, you know, and just be treated this way, and then to come to work and just want to be treated like a man, just want to be treated like a human, and I can't get that. And I know you guys, you sit back in, you know, in your offices, and you come up with this plan, and, you know, you want to execute this plan, and you think it's going to go well. And, you know, I definitely applaud Ross for making that statement and addressing the situation. But I can tell you that, you know, there's people in your district don't don't take it seriously. There's people in your company that could care less about um, where Ross stands. You know, during the quarantine time, you guys asked for, um, hey, can you send us of, you know, things that you're doing in your community during quarantine? And I sent out an article um, that this online newspaper called the Denverite um, happened to do a piece on me, because during the quarantine I was out making lunches and then delivering them to the homeless. And so I was like, well, I'll just send this in too, and, you know, just show that people in Colorado are doing the same thing. And not only was it not posted on the company Yammer or whatever website you guys were using to show what everybody was doing, but I had mentioned this to my district manager and just showed him, you know, uh, what I was doing. And during conference calls, I remember him shouting out everyone who was doing, extra, for the community or whatever. And I personally had sent that article to him just, because he wanted to know. And I didn't want to shout it out to the team, but I just wanted to show him. And still yet it was just like it was ignored. And who knows why we do the things that we do? Who knows why we choose to um not like black people or whatever. But it's so easy now, right? It's so easy to ignore us. It's so easy to ignore me. It's easy to beat up on me, but it's also easy to ignore me for any kind of anything positive, you know. And what makes it worse is it's gotten to the point where me as a black man have decided to just, hey, I'm gonna bow down and just take whatever it is that anyone gives me, especially racism, because that's normal. It's normal for me to be afraid when I get pulled over by a cop. It's normal to be ignored at work when you do something great and get no recognition. It's normal to wake up and not be yourself while you're at work. That's all normal things, and it shouldn't be normal. And I'm tired of it being normal. And just this last thing with this conference call and this memo being sent out, I can tell you that did did my assistant manager read the email and execute that? No. Did the girl who said she hadn't seen a colored person until she was like 12, do you think that she stepped out on the floor and was like, hey, moment of silence for George Floyd? I doubt it. Yeah, we could say, oh yeah, I did, but I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I apologize if I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. I'm not. It's just this is where we're at, where it's okay to be racist, and we have to accept racism. We have to accept when we say things like Black Lives Matter, we have to accept that people are going to fight back with All Lives Matter. And yes, all lives do matter, but Black ones matter too. And we just want people to finally just say, you know what? Stop saying all lives matter. And in this situation, we have to say Black Lives Matter. We have to say it's not okay to think that it's normal for racism to happen around you all the time. The fact that it's something that I'm going to have to teach my kids, that in order to get where you want to be in life, you have to put on the show. You have to be great. You have to be like more than great. You have to be 10 times better than the white guy next to you so that you can at least get what he would get, for not doing half the work that you did. We have to run to get what people who are not Black can walk to get. We have to go through fiery hoops and obstacle courses and all these different changes we have to go through to get to where we want to be. And it's not fair. It's not fair that I'm going to go to work tomorrow and know that if I need help, that my peers around me don't like me just based on my race and won't help me because I'm Black. And that's sad. It's sad that that I can't reach out. My wife asked me to not do the video. She said, it's better if you just write a letter. And then she said, well, you should just think about it. Think about it first, because what if? And I knew what she was going to say. And I stopped her because she's worried about retaliation, like me making this video and sending it out, and somebody hear it and not like what I had to say, and now my job is harder, and now you know, they're gonna just like nitpick at everything I do, and maybe I'll get write-ups, and maybe I'll be terminated, um or whatever. And I told her that's what keeps us down. That right there is what keeps us down. The fear of something happening to us for speaking out, the fear of getting fired or ridiculed or being treated different because I made this statement. And while I am scared of what may happen, I can't be scared, because this is for the people who are really, really scared of making statements. This is for the people who don't have the avenue to make the statement. This is for, you know, the people who wish they would have made a statement and are beating themselves up because they didn't stand up for how they felt or what was going on with them. So I have to at least make my point known of how I feel and how angry I am that I'm being ignored, of how angry I am that, you know, on emails and text messages or whatever, that that I don't get recognized. The fact that we didn't take the time, and I'm not saying, maybe there are some district managers who, you know, had the wherewithal to be like, hey, you know what, I should probably personally reach out to the Black individuals of my team and just see, like, make sure they're good personally, because that's what we should do. You know, if you know you have one Black person on your team and this is going on, and you're talking about the situation that happened to a Black man, and you don't reach out to that Black team member, and you just say stuff like, well, Ross is donating to the United Negro College Fund. Great. I'm glad that they did that. And I'm glad that they donated to everywhere else they donated to. But hey, I'm a person individually separate from this. Can you just talk to me directly and just check on me and see how I feel, or anything? Because we are the people in your store. I could have decided, you know what, I'm going to start my own protest right here in the store. But I didn't do that because I didn't feel like there was a need to do that. I conduct myself in a different manner. And it's just because that's what's just been, you know, beaten into me over the years, that you don't upset the white people around you. You don't mess up your money, because, you know, white people will take your money from you if you get too loud. You know, I will say this. I will say the only thing that I'm pleasantly surprised with, and it helped me to be more comfortable, is that there are some people within Ross that have treated me like no different than I feel like they would treat anyone else. And it was a great feeling to be able to, like, speak and be myself around these people and not feel like afterwards, like, all right, I can take this costume off and be myself again. And so specifically, I'm going to say Ken, who is our regional, and Carlos, both of them, my interactions with them have always been like, they've been great interactions. Both times I've dealt with the both of them, and every time it's just been like, it's just been great. It didn't feel awkward. It didn't feel like they were trying to be a certain way because I'm Black. They didn't treat me, you know, negatively or positively because I'm Black. They just treated me as, hey, you know, here's this guy. He's running our store. we got some things to work on. He's doing this, he's doing that. And that's how they treated me. And um, I think that's part of the reason that I'm still with Ross, because there's a few times um, that I have wanted to walk away, including this last time. Yesterday with this conference call, I felt like just walking away, because the fact that we would allow another team member to say the word colored, or another team member to be like, I know a couple black guys, so you know I understand the situation, and we allow that, just shows that we have a long way to go. We have a lot of work to do. And regardless of what happens to me after this video, it'll be something that I'll be able to show my kids, who just happen to be half black and half Mexican. Um, they'll be able to see that their dad didn't continue to tolerate ignorance and stupidity and racism just for money, just because they're afraid of of losing their job, or they're afraid of um, you know the impact this is going to have on their lives later on down the line, because someone from the company decided they didn't like um, the statement being made, and do something accordingly. So um, I don't know, man. I mean, at the end of this, I'm frustrated and I'm tired, because what's what's built in me is for me to go back to work and then still give my 180% of myself to do a job that I know that the people around me can't stand me just based on what I look like. So, Ross, again, thanks for, making that step that you guys took, but just know that um, within the ranks of these different stores, um, and I'm not speaking for all stores, I'm just speaking from my side with my experience and what's going on with me in my area, that there's still a lot of work to be done. And I didn't even make any comments today because I didn't want my anger to come out in my comments about what some of my team had said the night before. So, um, you know, people always say it is what it is, and I guess that's true in this situation too, because I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm gonna have to make a decision to continue to work for Ross, and deal with the racism that comes with it. Deal with knowing that if I call HR, that HR won't respond to my calls and or my emails, and just know that um, that I got to make sure um, that I keep this costume with me at all times in order for me to make it through. So um, we have to make some changes, and um, it has to be, if we're going to speak diversity, we have to hold that up. And diversity doesn't just mean being that we can wear certain clothes and we can have our hair a certain way. It means accepting people that are black, accepting people, and not worrying about their race or stereotyping them or capping off where they can move up in life um, because of their race. So anyway, um, hopefully this didn't sound like a bunch of rambling. Hopefully that my point was understood, and I hope whoever watches this, continues to actually help to fight for change versus just saying we're going to make some, some donations. Some actual change has to be made um, in this company. And it's crazy to think that I am stuck where I'm at. It's crazy to think that if I want to move up, then I'm going to have to leave this company in order to get to where I want to be in life. And that sucks because Ross has been in my life for a long time, all the way down to Ross is where I met my wife, that we've been married for 16 years. And, and she's worked for Ross for so long. And, she doesn't now, but, and now I'm back at Ross, and it just doesn't feel good. Like this whole situation, just bringing out stuff that's been buried for so long, and now it's out, and now it's in everyone's faces. And I just hope that Ross does not continue to ignore it. So that's what it is. And I'm out.